Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Georgetown Eagle Baseball Coaches Show live here on SHN at Pok-e-Jo's Barbecue in Georgetown, Texas. Thank you so much to Ashley and Pok-e-Jo's, the host of each and every one of our Baseball Coaches Show live here each week. And the tradition continues, and this team continues to perform. What a week it was, a two-game sweep over the Corpus Christi Ray Texans down in San Antonio at Northeast ISD Stadium, and what a beautiful facility that was. It was a lot like home. The shade in the stands was beautiful. The field was very beautiful. The kids' performance just goes right along with it. A beautiful performance. Tough game one. Went 10 innings, but a victory. 4-2 on a beautiful top of the 10th inning as the visitors in game number one. But then a stellar performance on Friday night to come back and answer that with a 7-2 victory. Another opportunity for this pitching staff to show why this team continues to win. This defense continues to play defense at a very high level, and clutch hitting at the right times, the base hits and the RBIs, but just up and down the roster, people stepping up and making plays defensively at the plate. And I guess we'll give some credit to the coaching staff and decisions that they make. But this team seems to make it look pretty easy for Coach Vierra and his staff, the way they seem to be playing ball. And we love the tradition. It means we come back each week to have the Coaches Show to recap the week and prepare for the next series. And that starts tomorrow night down in Jordon, Texas. A beautiful complex. We were talking about it here earlier before we started. A beautiful field for such a small school. But it's a popular place during the playoffs when you get these teams from Central Texas area and Region 4 to play against Region 2 teams, or Region 4 teams down in the Valley. That's a good meeting point out of Corpus Christi, McAllen, but a beautiful complex that we'll get to enjoy tomorrow and Friday, and if needed on Saturday. Just got a text message, Coach. I don't know if you got it. Kelly texted, officially approved by Jordon ISD. To clear the broadcast. UIL gave us the broadcasting rights again this week. And so we're excited to head down tomorrow, 7 o'clock, first game against Sherryland Pioneer High School. The Diamondbacks will take them on. They were victorious in their regional semifinals over Buda Johnson in a best-of-3 series where they won Game 3 at 5-4, a battle between Buda Johnson, the Jaguars, and the Diamondbacks. And so this team goes and continues to battle on. We'll visit with a few of the players here in just a minute after we visit with Coach Vierra. So we'll take our first break, come back with head coach Jordon Vierra live here on the Georgetown Eagle Baseball Coaches Show on SHN. Here live at Pok-e-Jo's Barbecue in Georgetown, Texas, the Georgetown Eagle Baseball Coaches Show, live now with Coach Jordon Vierra. And Coach, what a fun series against a great opponent. The Corpus Christi Ray Texans came in 34-4. How all week Kelly and I have talked back and forth with Dave on our text group. How hard is it to keep kids at this age of mindset and playing ball to not be awed by a team that's 34-4 and just go, it's time to go win the game of baseball?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously something that we compete against. This group doesn't bow down to anybody or isn't shocked by anybody. I mean, these guys have as many accolades as anybody in the state of Texas, and they've continued to show that they're going to show up and work day in and day out. Right? It doesn't matter who the opponent is. It doesn't matter who's going to be there. We're not competing against an opponent. Right? That's another thing that we talk about all the time is we're not competing against Corpus Christi Ray. We're not competing against Sharyland Pioneer. We're competing against the game of baseball. And so for us to do what we need to do, and that's continue to win it one pitch at a time, right? Do a little stuff right. And the game of baseball is hard enough as it is. When you put a face on it, it makes it even that much more difficult. So we're just going to go out and continue to do little stuff right and continue to try and play the game of baseball the right way.
Game 1 against the Ray Texans was another I think you can just call it another memorable game in this season for Georgetown baseball. We go to extra innings. This one, from the third inning on, there's just a battle on the mound between Nick Silva and their starter. And then Wade Denton inserts and goes 4 innings. And then in the top of the 10th inning, good things happen. With 1 out, we get a double down the left field line. And it just rolled from there. Yeah. How big of a win was that to set the stage and to kind of get things rolling in the Eagles' way in that series against Ray?
Yeah, you stay in the fight long enough, something good's bound to happen, right? And the way that our guys like to play and the mantra that we keep having of surround the Buffalo and try and score 1 run an inning, I mean, that's all that you got to do. And so we had a hard time getting the leadoff runner on there in the middle of the game. And when that happens, it kind of creates an issue for us sometimes offensively. And luckily we ended up being able to get a big hit when we need to with Mazak getting the double, and then be able to create a little bit more havoc after that, and then obviously you get the 4 runs there late to make it happen. So, as far as the series goes, when you win that first one, especially when you go 10 innings the way that you do, and you get in their bullpen and make their bullpen throw more pitches than they were anticipating being able to throw, it obviously sets you up going into Game 2 and Game 3 as far as what's going on with their bullpen versus our bullpen, and we know that we have plenty of arms to get us through what we need. So. When you overextend a couple of guys and the other team, that obviously helps your offense moving into Game 2 and then potential Game 3.
Game 1, it speaks volumes about the defense of this Eagle team, but then the pitching as well between Nick Silva and Wade Denton to give up the first 2 batters that we faced against Ray in the top of the first inning to score 2 runs on a walk, and then you had a triple, and then the one more RBI to score that second run. And then to go through, and at that point, you strike out 13 batters, this pitching staff between Wade and Nick, and then this defense to stay steady, getting men on base occasionally here and there by a hit pitch or a walk, but not letting anything waver in that consistency on the defensive end. It seems like it would be a harder struggle, just in the game of baseball. The mistakes are going to happen here and there, but this team seems to just continue to stay on a level of it's like a normalcy. We're going to continue to play good defense. Our pitchers are going to continue to work, and eventually something's going to go right. Is that something that you guys work on? Is it just a mindset or something? Because it seems to be consistent, especially through these playoffs for this Eagle team.
Yeah, it's extremely consistent. It's something we've been working on since August. And for some of these guys, we've been working on since they were freshmen of understanding that it's not one pitch that's going to break you. It's not one play defensively that's going to break you. It's not one pitch that you swing and miss that's going to be the end of it. One of our core pillars that's on our wall is win, and win's an acronym for what's important now. So you can't worry about the steps that are behind you. You can't worry about what's happening in front of you in the future. The only thing that you can worry about is where your feet are in the present. And it's the same thing that we keep saying all the time, right? It's the 200-foot battle. You're just trying to win it 200 feet at a time, right? You don't make it to the top of Everest in one jump. You got to get there as you go, and occasionally on the way up to top of Everest, you're going to stumble and fall down, and you can't allow that one step to be the one that doesn't allow you to summit. So these guys understand that. These guys are really good at being able to play in the present moment. If something doesn't exactly go their way, they're able to take a step back, understand that that's not going to be the end-all be-all, and they're going to make another play going forward. So extremely proud of what these guys have been able to do as far as that stuff goes, and being able to stay present at all times. And that's kind of what happened in the first inning there, right? Nick Silva, he walks the leadoff batter, and then he gives up the triple that ends up leading to the 1 run, and then gives up the double, and then he's right back in it and doesn't give up another one for a long time. So it's just a testament to what these guys have done and the amount of work that they continue to put in.
Then you go to Game 2, kind of the same scenario. Come out in the second inning, Jacob Haddon on the mound, Mr. Consistency,
No.
just like Nick has been, just like Wade has been in any of these pitching performances that any of these pitchers have thrown this year. But Jacob falls into that same thing in inning number 2. A couple of runs get given up, and then he locks right back in, ends up pitching a gem of a game, a complete game there in game number 2. This offense comes into play and starts making things happen, especially the 5th and 6th inning to kind of blow it open to win the series. How confident does that make, the defense in this pitching staff, knowing, hey, one rough inning is not going to shut us down. Our pitchers are going to come back from that. But then as a coaching staff, to not feel like you have to jump that gun to go to the bullpen. You see that some coaches go right to the bullpen, and we don't let that pitcher make those changes.
Yeah.
Jacob and Nick both did that in this series, and it worked out brilliantly.
Right.
How does that affect you as the coach to not jump the gun and not pull that too quickly to get them out?
Right. So that's a testament to Coach Payne. Coach Payne does a really good job with our pitching staff and does a really good job of tucking me off the ledge at times, because there's been a few times over the past couple weeks where I'm like, we got to get him, we got to go. And he's like, dude, calm down. He's got it. We're good. He missed a spot. It got hit hard. Next one. And there's a first spot he's missed in 3 innings. Just sit over there and shut up and worry about the offense. And I said, okay, you got it. So he's been doing a really good job of understanding that. But then as far as the defense understanding what they're doing and Jacob making a couple mistakes and then getting right back at it, it's that continual mindset that a couple of pitches ain't going to break you. And then when you have the defense that we have that's been playing so well behind them, that makes it that much more willing for the pitcher to get back in the strike zone and get the defense back to work.
Now we turn towards a Sherryland Pioneer team. As we've gotten ready for each of our broadcasts, we've talked about like opponents in our pregame between Corpus Christi Ray and who we played, and Alamo Heights, who we had played like opponents with them, and then even with Floresville. Yeah. We've not played anyone that's Sherryland Pioneer. So if we look at our schedules, we look at common opponents and try to figure out how they fared against them. We have nothing to base that on. What do we look at as the Sherryland Pioneer, the Diamondbacks coming in?
They're a good baseball team. They're a really good baseball team. They got a couple of arms that are competitive in the zone that have a 3-pitch mix, being able to put fastballs where they want to, spin breaking balls for strikes. They got a feel for a changeup. Does a good job of mixing speeds, mixing tempos, and then their defense has been pretty good for the most part from what we've been able to watch. And they got a couple of dudes that are okay to hit mistakes, So they're a good high school baseball team. They're a really good high school baseball team. We're going to have to compete and play hard. But ultimately it comes back to all we have to do is control what we can control, right? And that's attacking one pitch at a time, winning one pitch at a time, playing good defense, picking it up, throw it to first base, and then being adaptable at the plate and being competitive at the plate continually. And those are things that we're going to continue to harp on. But it's a good baseball team. Looking forward to a fun series. Should be exciting and be competitive.
Something we talk about, making changes on the fly and these kids adapting. Yeah. They seem to do that well in game number 2 against Ray. They come out, we go 3 up, 3 down, but then all of a sudden we get a run on the board. But then we go 3 up and 3 down. But as that lineup kind of worked through it, it seems like our hitters continue to do a good job of figuring out what's coming at them, making the adjustments and jumping on that to get this offense rolling. Yeah,
they've done a really good job of being students of the game as the years progressed, of being able to sit and observe and watch what's happening on the mound, what's happening to the other hitters, what's happening whenever they get into certain counts, and being able to jump on those pitches as we've progressed. So our guys understand that maybe 1, 2, 3 aren't going to get it done, but it may be 7, 8, 9. And we've seen that happen a number of times throughout the course of our season where maybe 3, 4, 5 are having a hard time, but 6 and 7 are doing a great job getting on, and 8 and 9 are white hot smoking baseball. So it's continually that next man up mentality, that wave upon wave upon wave of if I don't get it, the guy behind me is going to get it. And if he doesn't get it, the guy behind him is going to get it. And if it gets back to me, then you're daggum right, I'm going to be the guy that gets it. So it's that continual move on of learning and adapting and growing.
Baseball ended on Friday night. Thankfully, we didn't have to go back for a game 3 on Saturday. Yeah. These seniors were able to enjoy graduation. How has that adapted now? School's out. How has the preparations gone this week as compared to other ones when you're in a normal routine? Now things are a little bit out of kilter. How has that worked for the kids this week as y'all get ready to leave tomorrow morning?
Yeah, so we've tried to make this week as normal as possible. The exception for this week is we had our little kids camp this week, and so we had over 220 kids out at the ballpark. Hanging out over the yesterday morning, this morning, and all day yesterday and today. And So we try to do our best of getting our guys out up there in the morning to help out with that kids camp and to love on those kids and important to the next generation of Eagles. And so they've been able to get up out of bed just like they would for a normal school day to be up there, whether it was weights on Monday morning, followed by a practice in the middle of the day Monday, or it was showing up early yesterday morning, or weights today and getting up and getting after it at the ballpark. Then coming back and having a practice after that's over. So we've tried to make it as normal of a routine as possible, staying in what has allowed us to continue to remain successful. So we've tried to stay in that and keep rolling that.
How have the kids responded to that? How's the work going and the practice is going well?
Yeah.
These kids locked in, ready to go for tomorrow?
Yeah, they're ready to rock and roll. They competed. I mean, today it was 100 degrees. We were out there for a couple hours and then finished it up with a little competition, and they're getting after it, bucking ready to roll. So they're not worried about it, at least. They're not letting on at it as far as the different schedule, but they're really excited about it. We're looking forward to getting on the bus tomorrow and headed on down to Jordon and competing.
7 o'clock, first pitch Thursday and Friday, games 1 and 2, Jordon High School, about 3 hours from Georgetown. Saturday, if needed, game number 3 will be at 1 p.m., same there at Jordon High School. The winner of this series, the only difference here is the winner of this series has to come back to Round Rock. Hopefully it's the Georgetown Eagles as we prepare for the state. Would be remiss if we don't say something about the Lady Eagles softball team. They prepare to send off on Friday for their state semifinal game, a return trip for them. The tweets have been coming out. Your brother, Jaron, and we've seen amongst the school and the teachers and the principals, it's a great time to be an Eagle.
Yeah.
But this Lady Eagle softball team prepping on Friday to head down to McCombs Field at UT. A return trip, back-to-back years for them. Hopefully a little bit different outcome in the state semifinal this Friday. Last year it ended up getting rained and weird. We had to play at Glenn High School, and kind of the luster was worn off, and a tough loss there in the semifinals. But an important send-off. 7:30, you guys will be on the road down in Jordon. But for this community, come out and support these girls that are here behind. 7:30 at the school, 8:30, I think, down Austin Avenue as the girls take off in the bus headed down to McCombs Field. So congrats to Coach Hall in her first year.
No doubt.
What does that say for your program and this school as they continue to hire coaches that are putting the product on the field and leading these kids in the right direction? But best of luck to Coach Hall and to the Lady Eagles as they take on the state semifinals on Friday, 1 o'clock, I believe, first pitch. We'll try to watch in, but we'll be on the road back down to Jordon, getting ready for Eagle baseball, hopefully bringing one more back to have our run at the Dell Diamond, which is the ultimate goal that we've talked about all year with this team. So let's take a quick timeout. We'll come back. We've got 3 players to visit with, and we'll close it out. Thanks for joining us for the Georgetown Eagle Baseball Coaches Show back here in 1 minute on SHN. And we're back, the Georgetown Eagle Baseball Coaches Show live. Pok-e-Jo's Barbecue here on SHN. Thanks so much to Pok-e-Jo's and their hospitality here each and every week at the Coaches Show. We're joined now by number 19, the senior catcher, Zachary Mazak. You can say it 100 ways, but say it right, because that's a young man behind the plate that's been playing well for this Georgetown Eagle team. One of the Zach, you guys have been the first to say it. It's this team. You were looked at as one of the leaders on this team. Kelly and I sit in the booth and watch every single game, and we call it. And the team feeds off of the energy that you bring. And from a strikeout behind the plate to the last strikeout of the ball game, the last out, and you shake the umpire's hand. This team feeds off a lot of what you do and the energy you bring, be it from the leadoff position on the lineup to behind the plate, running the offense or the defense for this team. We get ready for the regional finals. What does that mean to a senior catcher like yourself in this run with the final G logo being worn by you in this great season?
It just means it means a lot to me. We're just trying to take it round by round right now, and we just take it 200 feet at a time and just try to win every pitch, and it leads up to round 5.
Reese said something last week that then Landon mentioned when we talked to him after Game 2 at Ray, that you guys seem to have this mindset that, man, it was a great win. Okay, we're all back at 0 batting average, and it's a new series, and it's week 1. It's time to go to work. And you guys seem to roll with this attitude, and it's been a constant. It's not we're having to get other players on the team to come along with that attitude. It's an attitude that we're all on that same page. Does it make it easier as you as a team to focus at that mindset that, hey, we start over tomorrow when we get on that bus? This is a whole new series. What's happened means absolutely nothing.
So basically what it means that, if you have a bad game, then you're back at, 0 batting average. So, it doesn't matter. So you're back to where you started. And it just helps you with your mindset and all that, and just helps you keep going with it.
So I'm going to take you back to Game 1 against the Raid Texans. I brought up my little score sheets there. It's funny, as the game is just kind of going along, it's readable. And then I get to the 10th inning, the excitement level goes up, and my pencil moves like the little earthquake detector. You got hit by a pitch. At that point in the 7th inning, you were 0 for 3 on the night, but the energy is still there. The leadership behind the plate, the leadership in the dugout, and you get hit by a pitch, and then come to the 10th inning. You've got a mindset that I haven't got a hit in the ball game. There's one out. We're battling against a good Ray Texan baseball team. And you drive a pitch down the left field line. Does your mindset change at all during that game, or is it just, hey, it's next at bat and I've got to take advantage?
Oh, it's so what next pitch every single at bat. Even if I had a double, it's so what next pitch. It doesn't matter. If I get strikeout, so what next pitch, next batter. And getting that double to start off the inning was a huge thing, because right before that inning, I told Jaron, I was like, we're scoring this inning. I don't care how, but we are.
You got to second base. I remember I went back, we're watching the game on the way back from San Antonio, and you got to second base, and immediately the arrow took off flying.
Yeah.
And I said, even on the air, it's like, let the arrow fly, big boy. And and Kelly was laughing about it, and I said, it's a constant from you, though. The emotion, once you get to base, knowing I did my job, and now here comes insert now the last few weeks, Zach Zavala. And then the speed demon gets on base like a Tasmanian devil and takes over running. But the energy, you don't let it, it's just fun to watch. And it's contagious through the stands. The fans feed off of that. Your teammates feed off of it. You get to second base, and it's not like, all right, back to the dugout. I'm done. I can just take a cruise. It's a celebrate. I'm at second base. What are you going to do next? Who's the next man up, and let's do this.
So next pitch right there.
And it's a great attitude to have. How is that a natural thing for you? Have you pushed yourself to become that way? Is that what? It seems so logical. But it seems if you watch the game of baseball, some people can't get past that mindset. I'm struggling. I'm down. I'm in a slump. Next pitch up. So what?
It's like we caught that. We got taught that, and it was a huge thing to me. I heard about it, and I was like, actually really makes sense, and it helps with your mindset. If you're in a slump, if you're hitting well, it helps you, even throughout, your whole season.
You go back down to the bottom of the 10th inning after you guys put up 2 runs there to take a 4-2 lead. What's the emotion going on in your head as the catcher that's got to control you and that pitcher are locked in, Wade Denton on that night. What's going through your head?
Oh, I just got to focus on getting the first out. The first out's the best, what's it called? The best out of the inning. First out, if you get the leadoff man out, you set the tone of the inning. It's a huge thing.
Yeah, boy, we did a ground ball, and then Wade Denton goes to work to close it out with 2 strikeouts. But then we go to Game 2, and it's like they didn't want any piece of Zachary Mazick. How do you stay motivated with that mindset? The first out, in the top of the first to lead it off, but then you come back, hit by a pitch, walked. But the excitement level and the energy level out of yourself hasn't changed. How do you keep that motivation up there? And is that a key for your teammates to see that no matter what, be a hit by a pitch, a walk, a pop out, I'm still going to lead this team. We're still going to be up because baseball game matters, and we got to go to work.
My energy, I try to get it contagious, like what you said. My energy sets the tone for everybody else's energy, and their energy sets the tone for my energy. So just if I start it well, then everybody else gets well. So I just try to keep it up as much as possible.
So then I'm going to take you back to Westlake, Game 3 against New Braunfels Canyon. Top of the 7th inning, we get them out. We're the home team. We get them 3 up, 3 down. We end the inning. We come to the bottom of 7th, down by 1 run, 2-1. First person out of the dugout, Coach Vierra. What does an energy from your coaching staff like that do for someone like you who's already high energy? Does that just continue to drive you up, or does that just encourage you guys that, hey, the faith and confidence in them and us has to be shown and carried out through this dugout?
Oh, it's like the same thing with me. Like if my energy goes off him, his energy goes off us. Like just like that.
You guys get ready to go down to Jordon. Such a weird town to pronounce the name. Well, I'm sure we're going to come up with something else while we're there. But to take on a good baseball team, Sherryland Pioneer comes in. The focus for you guys becomes what at this point?
Focus on the first pitch. We want to win the first pitch, win the first inning, win the first game. Win the first game is the biggest thing. We want to win the first pitch first.
Game 1 tomorrow night. You excited?
Oh, I'm excited.
Regional
I'm ready to play.
Regional finals.
Yep.
Knowing what's on the line, do you put pressure on yourself, or is it, hey, this baseball game is the most important, and we'll get to that when we get there?
Yeah, we focus on this round right now, even though like our whole goal is to win the state championship. But we're trying to win this round first because we have to win this round to get to the state championship.
So make sure you get to bed tonight, get some sleep after y'all go to hitting practice, which I know you guys are going to do because it's systematic. Certain people have to be at the coach's show every week. Even the Petties admitted that. We have our superstitions and our things that we've got to do. So make sure we get all that done. So, but congrats to you. What a great series. Great. It's just fun to watch the emotion and the energy that you bring that gets people fired up, that gets your teammates fired up. And what a series against the Ray Texans. Congrats on that. Shout-outs before I get you out of here.
Shout out family. Shout out God. Shout out Coach V.
Shout out to AC at the house getting fixed. I know we've been talking about that before y'all got here, so I know it's been a crazy week, and then the heat on top of it out of baseball has been crazy. But best of luck to you, Zach. It's been fun talking to you. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll
Thank
be
you.
back. A couple more guests here on the Georgetown Eagle Baseball Coach Show live on SHN. Back here live at Pok-e-Jo's Barbecue, the Georgetown Eagle Baseball Coaches Show, joined now by, number 6, Landon Hotley joins us. If you may be getting sick of seeing this young man, it's because we interviewed him after Game 1 against the Ray Texans, and we interviewed him after Game 2, and it only made sense to bring him up for this week. Landon, what a series. You play defense. You left the DH role earlier in the year, take out and become the right fielder for the Eagles. Still land as the 25-5A district designated hitter, first team designated hitter. But in a series like this, you can throw. I throw out 1 for 5, 2 for 6, 3 for 7. You had 5 crucial RBIs in this series. Back to Game 1, we talked about it. How big, how much, how exciting was that single that got through into left field to score the 2 runs?
It was definitely exciting. One of my biggest hits for sure. I got to thank Wade and Silva for getting me that 5th at bat. That was big time on their part. They pitched a heck of a game, and they just allowed us to get all the way to that 10th inning.
You stepped in there, and Kelly and I have been talking about our game. This all-star shortstop for the Texans, and Jack Bell was a great shortstop. Very clean. Even when he would boot a ball, it seemed to work out for him. And then all of a sudden, when he came up and you had that bat in your hand to get that base hit one that went over his head, Kelly and I were kind of excited about. But hitting a ball in that direction, and it's such a great player. And you watch that ball. What's going through your head as soon as you make contact?
I mean, honestly, I was thinking busted through first base. I didn't know if it was going to get through or not. But like I told Kelly, I think the turf owed us one after that first inning. That shortstop had the same bounce over first base and got a triple off of it. And so, I mean, my goal right there, we only had one out, I believe, was just to hit the ball hard somewhere, hit the ball hard kind of straight into the ground, and took a good hop over shortstop.
And then you get caught stealing. I don't know. We're going to leave that there. We're going to leave that there for the second out there in the top of the 10th.
I was close.
It was it looked close to us up in the booth, so our eyesight's bad at our age. But then you go into game 2, and you come up 0 for 2 into the 5th inning. You guys are down a run, and you've got a couple of guys on base with 2 outs and a double, 2 RBI single again. What's going through your mind when you step up at that point? You guys down 1 that late in the ball game. What's going through your head at that point?
So I was definitely pretty nervous, but I just kept thinking about the bat before I had a chance to tie the ball game 2, runner on third, 2 outs, and I almost knocked the second baseman over. So I was thinking, honestly, go the same way, but then count just ended up 2 balls, 2 strikes, and they were spinning the curveball a lot at me, and so I figured, like, that's what I should look for and then react fastball, honestly, with those 2 strikes. And they gave me the curveball, so just pulled it through the 6 hole.
And the way you guys go about your preparations for the next series as we move on to the regional finals, a series like that where you get 5 RBIs, and they're crucial RBIs in a tough series against the Corpus Christi Ray Texans team that was a very good baseball team. A great opponent. What a classy team to be a part of and enjoy that series. A great series of baseball. You leave on a high. How has it been for you to pull that back down and go, all right, back to zeros. I've got to go to work and be ready for game number 1 on tomorrow night?
It was definitely, I mean, it was kind of easy because on Sunday we had a bunch of graduation parties. Well, on Saturday we had graduation. On Sunday we had a bunch of graduation parties, so it was all about the teammates. A couple teammates had some. We were loving on them. And then Monday we got up early for weights, and it was just kind of a reset. Like Coach V said, we stayed in the same routine even though school wasn't in. And so just got back to it.
Game number 2, a fly ball hit to right field. We talked about it right after the game. And going through your mind, that ball gets sent high into the air into right field. It gets dark over there. Your center fielder giving you all kinds of confidence with, I lost it. Walk us through that play again.
I just knew the crowd was standing. I heard all the crowd, like, just roaring in the stands. And then I hear, like, I can't see from Petty in center field. And I'm, like, thinking, like, I can barely see it. So started putting 2 hands up and then caught it with 2 hands. And, like, all I was thinking is do the celebration with Petty and Ty after that in the outfield. But, honestly, it was round 5 in my head, like, just over and over when it was up in the air.
You guys get ready to leave tomorrow morning. What's it mean, this run that you're on in your senior year?
It's definitely exciting. I mean, this is what we've been waiting for all season, what we've been working towards all year. And to be in this spot to punch a ticket to the state tournament is big. I know we saw that little edit that PBR put out with, like, the 8 teams or whatever. And, I mean, just looking at the bracket, I mean, we can compete with any team in the state of Texas, like Coach V's been saying all season, and it's pretty exciting to see that.
Before you guys got here, some of the parents were talking. One of the moms made a statement. It's like, if anyone's playing at this point, they're a good baseball team. And the opponents we've been facing are a good baseball team. Corpus Christi Ray was a great baseball team. We found the holes when we needed to find them at the right time. And the defense and pitchers went to work and did the job. And so as we prepare for tomorrow and get ready, now you said, I'm going to make sure, I didn't ask Coach this, but graduation was Saturday. Was it good? Was it exciting? Was it what you thought it would be? It's over. I mean, no more school.
I know.
No more classes at high school. Let me say that. As your parents are looking on, there is more school, and it is important to focus on it. But no more high school. What was graduation like?
I mean, it was definitely an experience to remember. I mean, it doesn't feel the same, like all of us on the baseball team. Like, it doesn't feel like we've lost anything yet, just because we're still going back to the same high school every day for practice. But it was long too, but it was cool to hear my name walk across stage, and then we took a selfie with Coach V in the end zone when the fireworks were going off. And took a bunch of pictures, and it was just cool to see.
And then you were talking about this something on Sunday, some parties. Everyone good to go tomorrow? We're not missing any
100%.
teammates?
No.
All right. I just want to make sure. That hadn't come up yet. I mean,
These were little sobby parties, little crying, some videos.
all right.
At EJ Davis.
All right. We'll have to ask EJ about that this week. All right. Any shout-outs before I let you go?
I'm going to have to shout out our pitchers again, Silva, Wade, Haddon, for getting us to this 5th round for sure, putting the bats in all of our hands, and my team, coaches, and my family for coming out today.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us. Number 6, Landon Heil joins us live here on the Georgetown Eagle Baseball Coaches Show. Back real quick for our last interview. Back here live on the Georgetown Eagle Baseball Coaches Show from Pok-e-Jo's BBQ, and joined now by number 20, what Kelly Duvall has termed you as the super sophomore designated hitter, the only sophomore on this team, and Riley Leininger joins us right now. And Riley, I think that maybe the question maybe Kelly and I think about the most and talk about the most with you, and being a sophomore that's in a position like this, that you're in a lineup with a lot of seniors and one junior, I believe it is, in Eli Hellman. What's the experience like this year as a sophomore going through in a run like this as you guys head to the regional finals? What's it like for you to experience? And 2, how is it helping you prepare as you become one of the upperclassmen next year and are going to be looked to as one of the leaders on this team next year that has experience wearing this G?
Yes, sir. It's incredible to be with these great group of guys. It's just an unbelievable experience, especially how far we're going. And next year I'm really looking forward to helping out however I can with everybody, because I feel like I can really help.
We were talking to Nolan Jondo as a junior and talking about how the differences for him in travel ball. He usually starts a lot, but this year he's been in relief appearances mostly, but then starts a big game number 3 in the playoffs out of the blue when the only game 3 we've been to, and gets put into that position. You sit here in a designated hitter role, and then look to next year as one of the leaders with the experience on the varsity to come in and be called on either as a pitcher or an infielder or as a player. Is that something you look forward to? Is it a challenge that you're going to accept willingly, or you look forward to? Or
Yes, sir. I am completely aware that that's all going to happen. I'm really excited to get started, even though we're focused right now on this. But I'm really excited for next year, and especially this year.
As one of the younger, I think one of the youngest kid on this team that's seeing significant amounts of playing time in this playoff run. When you come up to bat, looking here at the numbers, you're challenged with to stay engaged in a game where you're only on the offensive side. The designated hitter role, you're not on the field, so defensively you're not required in that sense to be on the field at all times, locked in for the next play. How hard is that for you to stay focused and concentrating throughout the game, so when it does come your time in the lineup to go to the plate, you're locked into the game and not separated from it?
Yes, sir. It's definitely different for me, especially because I was a position player. But I don't find any problem with it. I'm always plugged in with my teammates on the bench, rooting on for my teammates in the field, and that really helps me stay locked in.
You guys on the bench in that during time when the defense is out on the field, do you guys is it kind of a community deal to make sure the defense is focused and you're constantly in there cheering for them? Or do you guys, is it something you've just kind of developed yourself, or you guys all try to go together?
It's a little bit of both. You know, there's always some times where I stray off from it and I get pulled back in. It's always everyone as a group coming in and together, like agreeing that this is what we're going to do. We're going to be plugged in.
as a sophomore stepping in, some of these base hits, scoring these runs, have you at any point have you felt overwhelmed? Have you felt, or is just the confidence shown by the seniors and the juniors on this team and the coaching staff has allowed you to lock in? Where has that been from on a personal level?
Yes, sir. Like I said, these amazing group of guys have really helped me out all throughout the way. Even when I'm slumping or have a bad outing, they're always there and they always pick me up. So I never really feel completely down. I always feel like I can bounce back with them.
As we get ready tomorrow, now someone came out, and it's just kind of personal, but I heard you have a loss in your family.
Yes, sir.
So you're going to miss game 1 tomorrow.
I will be missing game 1.
Okay.
Tomorrow. Yes, sir.
So our thoughts are with you. I've been texting with Kelly, my partner, and everything. So our thoughts are with you and your family as you travel to be with your family during this time. I know that's tough, and I know your teammates will be thinking about you as you are away from them. And so we wish you the best in your family during this tough time.
Thank you, sir.
And so we look forward to seeing you again because we plan on having more baseball, especially after this Thursday, Friday, Saturday weekend back at the Dell Diamond. And that's my plan. I've already cleared my schedule next week, so hopefully a lot of more Georgetown fans need to do the same. So any shout-outs for you before I let you go?
Just like to thank God, my family, and these amazing teammates that I call brothers, and Coach V for everything he's done for me.
Riley Leininger, number 20 on your team, the designated hitter. Thanks for joining us tonight, Riley. We'll take a quick break. Be back with Coach V to wrap it up. You're listening to the Georgetown Eagle Baseball Coaches Show live on SHN. Back one more time here at Pok-e-Jo's Barbecue for the Georgetown Eagle Baseball Coaches Show. To wrap it up tonight before this team takes off to Jordon, Texas tomorrow. Coach, a great season so far, but it doesn't come to an end. We continue to battle on as we head to the regional finals tomorrow and prepare to come back for another Coaches Show next week. Walk us through your preparation away from this team tonight as you sit there and get prepared to wake up in the morning and guide this team down to Jordon for this playoff series. Walk us through your mindset as a dad, as a husband, as a brother, as a child, as a coach, as a teacher. Walk us through your mindset as you prepare and kind of what we kind of see inside your head as you go into this big series here for the Georgetown Eagles.
Right. So our preparation began last Friday night. As soon as the series was over, we started kind of looking ahead to who was going to be going into this week, and finally got to get home and see the kids a little bit Saturday morning. And then we got to sit around together during nap time and at the end of nap time and watch some baseball, watch the Sherry Lane game. And so that was kind of where the beginning of the preparation for the week happened. So after that game was over, ended up finally getting on the phone with those guys and starting to talk playoff series stuff and looking at that and talking with Coach Payne about what possible situations we're going to have, lineups we got, and all of that kind of stuff. He started watching film on Sunday. We started kind of chipping away at it a little bit Sunday night, Monday morning, kind of seeing what we were going to have. And so those conversations between he and I about what was going on for Sherryland happened there. Then Sunday, we ended up being able to actually have some quality family time. It was really nice to just get to hang out and go slow and get to hang out with these Goobers and get to go over the cousins and play over there a little bit. So it's always nice to be able to step away for a little bit and just get to hang out with the family, hit the reset, be able to take a big breath from all the hubbub of the week and be able to just kind of reset. And then obviously Monday morning in the office by 6 o'clock, weights are at 7:30. Monday morning or no, Monday we lifted at 10. Was up there at about 8 o'clock, starting to watch some film, getting after that, looking around, making sure that everything's ready to go for the week, practice plans, setting up camp, all that kind of stuff. Then we ended up having our weights at 10, practice at 12, went through our normal Monday practice, hung around a little bit after practice, setting up stuff for the camp that we had this week. Tuesday morning was in the office at 6 o'clock, trying to watch a little bit more film, getting ready for these guys showing up at 8:30 for camp, and then had camp all week. Then these guys came back afterwards and finally got to get home a little bit in the evening and soak it up with the family. The same thing happened on Wednesday. It's in the office at 6 o'clock in the morning, getting after it Wednesday. These guys showed up for the weights this morning and been at the ballpark getting after it with camp and practiced ever since. And then as we start looking into tomorrow, tomorrow morning is the fun part, right? You put in all the work Monday through Wednesday. Tomorrow morning's your show up in the office, make sure that you got the lineup cards printed, make sure that you got your uniforms in your bag, make sure that you got everything ready to go that you need for the weekend, and then just show up and make sure the boys stay in routine, make sure that they're having fun, make sure that they're locked in, ready to rock and roll, and ultimately when that umpire says play ball, take a step back and let the boys play, because that's what they get to do. As coaches, we just get to push buttons now. We don't get to pick it up and throw it. We don't get to do anything. We just kind of get to sit back and watch them play. And for me as a coach that's been able to spend the amount of time with these guys we have since August, to just take a step back and to watch these boys just play is the exciting part. And so it's been a blessing. It's been an absolute honor to get to hang out with these guys. My yahoos are starting to hang out at the ballpark a little bit more and getting to know the guys, and it's fun to watch this one walk around and that one walk around and saying the boys' names and trying to get after them a little bit. And so, come on, sis. It's a party. Let's go. So it's awesome. This night ends up being one of the few nights I actually get to hang out with my family a little bit. And so thank you for allowing us to be able to do this. Thank you for Pok-e-Jo's for allowing us to be able to do this. Thank you for these Rugrats and my wife for letting us do this. It's a blast.
One of the biggest cheerleaders that we've watched through this year that Kelly and I have enjoyed watching has been your brother coming in the dugout, and with the addition of their newest baby the last few weeks at the end of the Cedar Park game. I think inquiring minds want to know, one, do we expect to see him at all in Jordon?
Yep.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
He'll be there.
And two, walk us through. This is one thing I've been curious about, and it's fun to watch this team as you guys get ready to go on the field. I don't know what y'all call it pregame when y'all go on and do your infield, outfield stuff. But this team goes over towards first base or third base, whichever one dugout y'all are in, and everyone starts yelling, and they're waiting for you. It seems like you're always late. But then you run into the middle of that pack, and you guys take off running a loud cheer. What's the emotion behind that? Is that this team just one last, we're coming together before we go and hit it, and it's time to perform? So
most teams just call it in and out. Take a little infield, take a little outfield. We refer to it as showtime. It's an opportunity for us to get to go show how good we are at playing defense, to get to fly the ball around, get to spin the ball around, get to run around, just get to show the other team that we're here to get after it. Defense is something that we take very serious. Defense is something that we take extreme pride in, and these guys put quite a bit of energy into that. You refer to the mosh pit that is the beginning of it. Leave that with multiple bruises multiple times. I'm just glad that I've been able to stay on my feet the entire time. They try to sneak in. I don't know if you watch. There's one guy that always sneaks in behind and tries to get a kidney shot in, and he's going to get what's coming to him soon. But it's a fun thing to be able to take showtime and fly around and get after it.
You guys get on the road first thing I say first thing in the morning, tomorrow before midday, and head down to Jordon. Take your time, get settled in for the series. Preparations at this point are all locked in. You guys are just in a mindset to go down. Time to beat the game of baseball 2 more times and advance to the state tournament. The excitement level, how do you control that over the next few hours?
It's another baseball game. You know, I mean, it genuinely is. I mean, when you look at the grand scheme of things, is it an exciting baseball game? It is. And is it a big deal? Absolutely, it's a big deal. But ultimately, it's another baseball game. You got to go collect 21 outs. You got to touch home plate more times than they do. You got to throw strikes. And at the end of the day, the game doesn't change. It may have a different result, and you get to go accomplish and check off one of your boxes at the end. But ultimately, it's another baseball game. Just like we were talking today during BP. The bases are 90 feet apart. The rubber's 60 feet, 6 inches away. That's all that matters, right? And so our guys are going to show up, and they're going to compete regardless of what the title of the game is. we're just excited to have the opportunity to continue to get to keep playing baseball, and to get to hang out with this brotherhood of guys and get to continue to compete.
Tomorrow, 7 o'clock, first pitch, Georgetown, Texas. The Georgetown Eagles. Are we visitors home first game, second game?
We'll be visitors for the first game, home for the second game, and then if a game 3 happens, we'll flip after game 2.
Now, I guess real quick on that. Back to Corpus Christi, Ray.
Yeah.
We were the visitors in game 1, I believe.
Yeah.
And then we win that, and then you come into game 2 as the home team. Is there an advantage to that? As you knock them down on home, now the pressure's on them knowing you get the final at bat in game 2? Or is that just we don't care, we just want to get up and score more runs and win the game?
Don't care, to be honest with you. I mean, at the beginning, that's one of the negotiation things that happened of who's going to be home first, who's going to be visitors first. Hey, excuse me, sweetheart. Well, then fix your shoe. Goodness. So like that's one of the things that a lot of guys try and really fight for. Our view, talking to Coach Payne, was that doesn't matter. You're going to get to be home one of the first 2, so it doesn't matter if you're the home team or the first one or the second one. And said no. They asked if we had a preference. Said. Or I asked them, said, do you have a preference on being home or visitors for game 1? He said, we'll go ahead and be home. I said, you got it, my man. We'll be home for game 2. That's an opportunity for us to get in the box in the first inning and see what happens.
Georgetown, Texas will be the host of all games involved in this series. We are, I think, truly hopeful. It's just game 2 that we have to go to and then get to come home for Saturday to enjoy and prep for next week. 7 o'clock first pitch, both nights, Thursday and Friday. We'll be live on SHN at 6:30 for pregame. But the crowd, it's been something to talk about this entire playoff run.
Yeah.
This Eagle crowd has been amazing, and we expect another good turnout down in Jordon. And so thank you to all the fans that have joined us along the road. We had a great time in San Antonio last weekend and look forward to it in Jordan tomorrow. If you can't join us there, we'll be live on SHN. We do have video and audio rights this week, one last time, surprisingly. And so we will bring you all games necessary in this regional final series between your Georgetown Eagles and the Sherryland Pioneer Diamondbacks.
Keep showing up. Keep being loud. Keep wearing blue.
Thanks for joining us tonight for the Georgetown Eagle Baseball Coaches Show. We plan to see you again next week live here at Pok-e-Jo's. Have a good night.
Go Eagles. Say go Eagles. Go Eagles.